trying to farm my WoW character some gold. They have 175 left. And I'm doing all this other shit on my alt and all that. And I have a whole bunch of Primal Fires that I haven't sold yet, but I was gonna wait until after the patch. I feel like they'll probably go up in price because even if, even if the shit like I don't know what, there's like no craftable gear from Black Temple or Hyjal that require it that I know of. But you know what I mean? Fruit Loops, farts and Fruit Loops. Yeah, so we're gonna try and farm. You know, but people need them for enchants and shit. Usually people have more gold after a phase or whatever. Oh man, oh man. They're going to do a guild Warsong Gulch, but the person organizing the thing is on the Pacific, whichever way that is to you, right? West Coast, I guess, right? And that is like 10 o'clock their time, which is like midnight or something. I'll probably be asleep by then. Shit, I should wear an Athresian Mind Blade still. That's got more damage for frost. Shitty. World of Warcraft. I know this makes for like the most boring live stream ever, but the the Nazis and the Pinko commies that work at Blizzard will ban me if I buy WoW Gold, so you're stuck with watching me do this for a little while. Why not? Oh, it's on cooldown. But that's cool though, because there's like all these weak auras and shit, dude. I could find my mages, Frost Mage's weak aura. The thing is, I was doing arenas the other day, and there was like just so much shit on my screen that I couldn't do anything about it. I have to figure out what add-on it is. I don't want to disable the debuff thing above their head. You know what I mean? That's super helpful for me. If I could find out a way to get that, but for my Shadow Priest, it would be even more helpful. But the thing is like, it's either Quartz or some one of these goddamn add-ons, and I don't know. And then when I do Battlegrounds Omnibar, like my entire screen is just like shit everywhere, dude. It's impossible to make sense of, right? Yeah, I think I looked at that parse the other day, dude. There's like I identified potentially two times that I could have done something different, and that was it. And those were very minor. Like I could have, I would if I would have had more mana at the end of the fight. In all honesty, if I didn't pull aggro and I had an innervate, that would have been like a 99 or like a 100 parse. And that being said, the discrepancy there is that as a mage, as a human mage, I don't have like I lack a lot of necessary racial passives, and like trolls have another berserker basically. You know what I mean? Like if you time your troll racial passives, like nothing. I don't think anything can compete with the troll racial passive or the troll racial ability for mage. It's just too good. And needless to say, there's like what? How many classes can play mage? Uh, Either way, human is second to last on the list, next to undead. Undeads have the least amount of racial DPS for a caster or mage, you know, and then humans being the second with spirit, which is mana per 5, but like if you add it all up, the 10% spirit is not nearly as a damage multiplier as the 10% intellect. That hit hard though, didn't it? Had some 10,000 frost bolts though. I think that was a internet high score for me. And I looked at the thing and like one of our mages did out DPS me on the parse meter for the Solarian fight, but I was 400 or 500 DPS over them when you take into account all the AoE damage. Like, well, I'm not parsing, you know what I mean? I'm trying to help and do the boss fight, not necessarily the parse part of it, but I was like 400 or 500 or whatever it was DPS over the next person. Like, yeah, if I just did an AoE and only damaged the boss, I would have a better parse, but there's a chance the raid would wipe from that kind of thing, right? So I'm not really worried about it. Like, somebody go install damage meters and see like the actual damage charts, what they say versus like but everything I had top raid damage for the entire raid every fight. And like I'm not trying to like stroke my own ego. I'm just saying that this last month or two I've been really caught up about like trying to maximize my DPS and all that stuff, and I've been beating myself up about it. And I'm like, fucking then one thing after another gets prioed to somebody else, and I'm like, I know I will put the thing to use if I can just put it to use, right? And then I finally get those things, and then it's no contest, right? Weak auras for mages, it has my trinkets and all that stuff would be nice. I had fun PvPing yesterday. Now, I'm not really expecting like that's not going to be the team that I mean, trust me, I'll still PvP with them, but that's not going to be like the team I think that is going to get Gladiator. If any, I got to find more than likely find somebody out of guild that has done it a few times. Yeah, I need to find somebody that's like ready to be patient with me because it's going to take me some time. Uh, it might even have to wait till I get a better computer and all that computer like can afford to get a computer mouse and keyboard and all that shit before I try to like frustrate the shit out of myself. Like if you see my setup, it's pretty pitiful. So yeah. Anyway, I'm not making excuses, but it would help. Like a mouse pad and stuff. An evocate staff is another thing I can do to get some more spirit or to get more mana from my evocate. I mean, I pretty much get a full mana bar from it right now. Lag. Fucking no crit there, really? But I looked at the damage charts for the entire raid, and me and the other mage did 1.5 million damage total for like all 5 or 6 boss fights. The only thing is I had to tank one of the fights and did like 0 damage. So I had like almost an entire boss fight's worth of extra damage out of the entire thing. What's crazy though is out of the 1.5 million damage that I did on all those boss fights, 750,000 of it came from just that TK, which if I had an innervate, I'm telling you, man, I could have pushed like 820 on that probably. Not having to worry about frost bolting and shit. Like, God. I've seen guys that do the parses and shit get like 96s as trolls with getting 2 innervates at a time, right? Or not at a time, but like 2 or 3 innervates in one fight. So I'm hoping, man, that I can eventually convince someone that a innervate would be a good idea. I know they say they want it for the healers, but at some point in time, me doing an extra fucking 400 DPS is like a whole lot less healing they have to do. And they've gotten to the point like we're even early Serpentine Cavern. Remember, like the mana per 5, something that scales. Like you can only heal so much per second, right? Uh, like I said with Shadow Priest, uh, the amount of mana that I use per boss fight never increases, no matter how much gear I have, right? Full burn. So, I can only spam Arcane Blast. It doesn't get any more mana intensive than that. So, when a Shadow Priest gets an improvement in their gear, you know what I'm saying? Their MP5 to the group increases. My spell damage, my spells all cost the same as they always did. And effectively, it increases my ability to do damage by a shitload. Now, there's something to be said about the fact that, like, yeah, well, boss fights go on longer and they're more mana intensive and things like that. But all in all, though, Alan Alda, though, Alan Alda, uh, it's a guy from MASH. He's a Mormon. He's from MASH, which they say was the highest rated TV show ever, right? I could never watch one episode of it. She had to grow up. Well, which one of the interesting facts about it though is that it actually went on longer than the actual Vietnam War did, which was known to be one of America's most long and drawn out confrontations. And the TV show actually was probably worse, to be honest. I was like, what you fucking grandpa watched after he's done reading his newspapers or whatever. That's what I'm thinking about. You know, like if you get caught like pooping in a bathtub at like a hotel room or whatever, you get put on, you get put on like the do not, you get put on like the wall of fucking shame. Like under no circumstance do you let this guy rent a hotel room or whatever. Can I get on the opposite of that, but at World of Warcraft, where I don't get banned for well, for one, for cursing at people, and for two, buying WoW gold would be great. So when I do finally make it in life, I don't have to sit here and grind all goddamn day. I can just go to the fucking internet site and purchase some WoW gold like everybody else does, right? And somehow never gets banned for the shit. So the opposite of finding a piece of a big chunky dookie in the bathtub at the Ritz Carlton, or as I like to call it, the Ritz Pilkington, right? If you've ever watched the Ricky Gervais show, like, yep, the Ritz Pilkington, right? The joke is the guy's a buffoon, right? And I always thought it'd be funny because the Ritz Carlton's known for being like this upscale kind of place, but Ritz the Ritz Pilkington, dude. That fucking guy. I saw him on TikTok the other day. He's got some acting chops though. It's like surprisingly good at acting. Carl. It was just some guy they found working at a radio station, like 20 years ago or whatever it was, 15 years ago. No, it's probably more than 15. Yeah, it was more than 15 years ago. Probably 20 years ago or more. They found old Carl, Ricky Gervais did when they were doing FX or XM satellite radio. It's one of the best TV shows ever. One of the funniest for sure. Uh, which I think would be cool though if you've ever watched it. The thing is like an interesting application is how do you use generative AI to where you can take any podcast and turn it into Ricky Gervais show podcast. So like it animates a cartoon to it and does like because the reason why it's so funny is they took regular podcasts and then animated their characters and like anytime this guy Carl tells a story they do an animation to it and the animators have their own like creative liberty with it and it makes it even funnier and funnier. So I was always wondering even when I was younger I'm like god I wish they could just make an AI where you could do that with any podcast, make podcasts watchable whereas like currently there's no real reason to watch them. Or like the Joe Rogan show, is like the most listened to podcast ever and it would be cool, despite the fact there are portions of it where there's he plays clips and all that shit, but for it to animate to the podcast so there's like something to watch instead of just watching two guys sit at a table and talk to each other. Like an innervate staff on that would I can't get my goddamn cast bar. My pet bar is all weird. My user interface is always the worst, dude. I've never been a person that's like all worried about. You see how it's all overlapping and shitty. You see I you look at the people that have like I can't ever get used to staring at like this part of the screen here, like my target icons and stuff. Like there's all this space over here. This is all clutter. I know it's probably better that way, but the default RAID frames are better than any of the fucking weird kind of like and plus they take up so much memory. It's like as Bill Cosby like what does Bill Cosby say, right? Less memory the better, right? That way but like Voodoo unit frames and all that stuff are super helpful, but like I don't necessarily need all that like in detail, intricate kind of, but just these work fine, dude. Plus my eyes don't work that well, so I can see just based on looking at this like what's going on. Whereas like if there's a character, you know, I can tell that when you're targeting a mage that it's a mage and all that stuff. But all right, now we've got simmer down now, guy. Simmer down now. Still got a good farm spot. 6-7, right, guys? God damn it. Yeah, I wish I had more status updates on the project and stuff, you know, like I'm as in the dark about the shit as anyone, if anything, you know, like there are people that I believe some of the bad actors are out of the picture and some of the other bad actors are it's a slightly more complicated thing to deal with because there's some, you know what I mean? And I've mentioned before why I've chosen to do it this way and why I'm not like jumping the gun and like accusing people of anything or anything at this point, right? Because people have that like I have nothing to lose, self-destructive tendency, you know what I mean? And if you confront them about it, not the lead developer, but you know, people around him and stuff that I don't necessarily, I absolutely don't agree with, basically. And so that being said, right, the idea that like, and you know who I'm talking about, you know what type of people I'm talking about, where if they get the fucking the jig is up kind of thing, they get a word in someone's ear about something, you know what I mean? And now suddenly that the person that would otherwise be rational and like, you know, I don't know what amount of wrongdoing or complicit, you know, how complicit some of these people were, but when I confronted them about, without even confronting them, just kind of seeing where they were at with things, with them not knowing who I was, not that I'm anything special, but they certainly didn't know who I was at the time. So when I said something, the level of hyper defensivity that they have about this one specific thing in regards to a hack that supposedly had taken place is certainly a strong indicator or earmark of the fact that there is some level of unofficial, official, sanctioned, unsanctioned kind of cover up taken into the hands of either one person, you know, choosing themselves to fucking be the guy to try and do it. And I can tell based on the lack of their actual knowledge or understanding of that kind of thing that their false credentials and everything more than likely. And if I'm wrong, dude, I'll you know, apologize when he gives me my $25,000 back. I guess right. Yeah, anyway, if not, if I can go to the FBI about the shit, then the guy will go to prison. But I'm kind of hoping it's like best case scenario for himself and myself is that he isn't. But I don't know, man. Even if you lose my money due to your own stupidity, it's all the same to me. So we'll figure it out. Problem solved through all this shit at some point in time. But that being said, yeah, would prefer for them to be exit stage, whatever. Actually, I'd hope for them to swan dive off the fucking thing and break their neck, but uh, that's probably never gonna happen. And that being said, though, people that have that tendency to be self-destructive about that kind of thing, especially if they get to feeling claustrophobic and the jig is up, and okay, well, delete your accounts, change your name, like the type of person that won't show their face online no matter what, the type of person that won't tell you their real name, the type of person that always has some sob story why they can't do it and why they aren't there and like always want and yeah, so I'm not trying to push the issue yet currently, but some of the advice I received was maybe going to the lead developer and letting them know in a completely like, well, a friend of mine who doesn't have genital warts wants to know, right? uh, does which one of these creams works the best, right? So that was their advice, and I'm like, and even then, at that point in time, I'm not trying to like, oh, and then what's the first thing he might do is, how people are about being territorial, especially when shit that doesn't belong to them. They somehow manage to get their hands on it and doesn't belong to them, how they are about it, right? So we're gonna leave it there for now, and we will problem solve through all the shit when the time is right. But I can't necessarily like. I just wish people were more present, man. I really do. Like my only criticism so far, aside from a few things, like not to say trying to play me for a fool, but like I know better, dude. And it's whatever. But the uh, the idea that like, what level of yeah, I don't know, man. Whatever. It's not my show, so I don't fucking know. But people being more present, that's all. Would be very helpful. At some point in time, I know that that happens. You know what I mean? It has to. But even maintaining just a slightly more presence in the community and stuff would be very helpful. Now, I don't know what this other add-on is where like I frost Nova and there's like all these other timers and shit here. Auctionator, bag on, Omni CC, I don't even know what that is. If I disable Omnibar, reload UI, I still want to be able to see the thing above their head. There. So okay, so it's Omnibar. Now what I probably want is Omni CC. Keeping track of diminishing returns is helpful. But when I say that some of the bad actors have left, like I knew they would, and like they all will eventually, were some of the people I believe that were tied to another project that I questioned its legitimacy at some point in time, and as soon as I did, it ruffled feathers. Obviously, it would because these people are only here to ride coattails; they're not here to contribute. So, either way, though, I've talked about it so much, so I don't even like talking about this shit anymore. I'm like, neither here nor there. It's been 8 months, dude. It's been a long time for things not to be up and running. So the conversation piece has sort of lost its momentum. But hopefully we have a reason to discuss some shit soon. But not getting my hopes up. As much as I have to have hope in something somewhere, but really, I have to sit here and farm my goddamn PvP gear. I hate that. I'm in PvE gear. I don't want to have to sit there and farm in my goddamn PvP gear. Why can't I see that guy? He's on my team. I thought I could see him. And the way that which this guy did all this stuff, like, honest mistake is one thing, but the guy is too well versed in doing this sort of thing for me to believe for even a second that he hasn't uh, enriched himself at some point in time by fucking over people. So I don't chalk it up to coincidence that I happen to get fucked over here and he happened to be even one penny richer about it, right? So He's a snake. I have like no health. Glad that rogue left me alone. For now, I got no PvP gear on there. Shit I can do. Except farming my PvP gear, which... Oh great, now all these people show up. I don't have an ice block, but these people aren't gonna let me farm anyway. Well, lost my farm spot. Now the guy's gone. He's quite literally up here just ganking people, trying to gank people, not even farming. I hate that, dude. It's like getting in the way of me actually trying to do something. It takes forever to find a farm spot here normally. How'd that not get that guy? Looked like I got him with that goddamn blizzard, but it didn't. Somehow. Really any need for that? Really? I guess after tomorrow I can buy discounted season 2 gear, so they say. I might just do arenas practice on 2v2s or something. You know, this guy's still gonna be around ganking people. Yeah, there ain't shit to farm. I thought I got his nature swiftness on that, but I didn't. I was trying to. That's not a guaranteed thing ever, really. Scooby Doober, you weren't bothering me earlier. I do have to eat like sometime again soon here. I made stir fry and all that earlier. They're plotting. You can see the gears turning in their head there. They're floating above you. I got 6 of these. Let's go ahead and just do arena. This shit's like gonna be a nightmare trying to farm. Then we can maybe get weak ores working and then try to optimize our UI just a little bit. It sucks that I got a Fang Leviathan. I have Sunfire, so I can't use it for PvP. But tomorrow I should have more points and everything should be half price, so I should be able to pick up like I should be able to buy shoulders, which will be nice, and then I can purchase next season or whatever. I have all the tier 5 tokens for the other shit, so I should have a full merciless set, and I'll be kind of even keel with everyone else at that point. A better PvP offhand would be nice. Like a Fathom Stone would be awesome for this character, but I think one dropped the other day and I didn't roll on it. See, this thing has cast bars and all that stuff. Enemy nameplates. I don't need his on. Enemy nameplates. Team nameplates. I guess whatever. Turned on. Whatever. Where did his go? What are you making? Where is it? Enemy nameplates turned on. Where'd his go? There. I have to have him selected to see it? Whatever. That's not how it was working a little while ago. Blocked early, didn't know he was fire. Mage's fire. Palm Pyro was not a spec the first time I ever did this, and I'm not about to go Palm Pyro for this shit, really. I probably can't do too much of this because I have to eat soon. I've been up forever already, so get on tomorrow and do it. Fuck. That druid should have tried to stick with me a little better. I mean, I could have not. I can't trinket a sap. You know what I mean? That druid just needs to be closer to me so I can stay alive. Should probably fire ward with everything fucking firemages.com. Oh, same guys. That's why you can't trinket the goddamn sap, but he's an enhancement shaman, so god damn it, dude. Oh. Be great, man. Hopefully next season I can get it all. A mana shield. How do you get that? How do you get that? That was weird. Line of sight there was weird. He got that warrior over the goddamn coffin, and that guy counterspelled me on the. That was a good counterspell on that mage's part. So he had me on like a focus macro, probably. Him running like that, getting that counterspell. Be one thing if I get like an alt and then alt Q and alt E, set focus and focus counterspell might be a good idea, but I got to kind of get used to that. I haven't had that keybound in like forever. Actually, I've never used that keybind, but focus and shift focus and all that shit. I used to have a mouse and a keyboard and all that had all them buttons. Did I get this guy food and water yet? Can't imagine we'll rogue mage, frost mage. Where's my druid? Did he leave? Where is he? Shit. I'm not understand why that druid's not. Is he feral? whatever. I think I gave whatever. He should have his own arena water. I hate conjuring this shit every time, but got distracted for a second. Rogue priest, right? God damn it. There you go. Get away from that sucker. There ain't no sense in the shit. I knew that wasn't gonna work. Druid? Fuck. Fat fingered it. Come on now. Got him. That druid scared the shit out of me, dude. And I whiffed that counterspell and everything. That druid scared the shit out of me with that. And my WoW crashed. So, yeah, with that counterspell and everything, I guess it's my cue to leave. I'm gonna eat. I'll be on later.